have a very special guest who is joining us, Kichcha Sudeep. He needs no introduction. He is a superstar in the South. Kicha, thanks very much for being with us on NDTV. I have to begin by asking you, you've sparked this huge language row in the country. I have to give you credit for that. And today the Prime Minister has, talked about how all languages in India are equal. Every language is essentially a national pride. How do you react to this?
It's an honor being on board. First of all, thank you for having me over. And ma'am, actually, whatever I responded to the tweet, I didn't mean to start any riot or start any kind of a debate. It just so happened without an agenda. And yes, it was something that I just kind of voiced out an opinion. And today, it was an honor and a privilege and a great feeling to see the certain lines come out from the Prime Minister's mouth. And when he himself makes a statement, and it is not just us, ma'am, I think it's everybody who looks upon their language with regards and respect. It's just definitely a very overwhelming emotion to see him speak this way, and it's a warm welcome.
Okay. You resisted this Hindi imposition bid as it's being seen. Ajay Devgan tweeted about how, Hindi is our national language, and he said that if Hindi is not our national language, then why do you dub your films in Hindi? And you sort of took him on after that, and this huge controversy was created. What do you make of this bid to impose Hindi as the national language, or this perception that Hindi is the national language?
Ma'am, to call him is a perception, ma'am. It was not taking on him. I wasn't taking on him. See, I know him, and I wasn't taking him on. So it was just a thought. So there's a difference, taking him on and taking the thought.
Okay.
See, it was not even my whole line when I spoke about certain lines on a certain stage, as it is never meant to him personal or anybody. See, what happens when, and I was not even trying to hint at any kind of a language imposing. See, I come from a film fraternity which deals with entertainment, and we don't feel nice only when South films are called as pan-India. See, it has got nothing to do with Hindi per se, all right? So it's a pan-India. Pan-India it's our country. We are trying to reach out today. Cinema is open to all languages, and everybody, every viewer, every state wants to see, as long as the film is good and worth a view. Everybody wants to see, and only certain segment being called as pan-India wasn't going well with me, and it was nothing to do with the ego or any kind of emotion. It's the fact. The fact is that it's a pan-India. So whether it is coming from South or whether it's coming from Hindi, as long as you're dubbing your films in other languages, it should be called pan-India, and it shouldn't be termed only to a certain states as well. So this was my whole thing, and when Ajay sir tweeted, and I think there's always the in-between lines that is read or the context is not understood. So I guess, and I was trying to tell him that, and I welcome everything as long as, our language is also, every language is respected. That's about it. And that was not trying to take on anyone. So I think I have the right to say what I personally, my opinions are when it comes to certain topics. At least when I know I can talk about a certain topic, it is not just because I have a voice that I can just voice it out. I had an opinion here, and that's what I wanted to tell.
All right. Do you think that South films breaking box office records has in a certain sense triggered this as well?
No, I don't think so. I don't think actors are that insecure. See, they are all there because of certain achievements, ma'am. I think all those big heroes, all the so-called names who have been there for decades are there because of a purpose. All right. They have achieved and they have delivered, and that's the only reason they have survived so long. Just because of one or two films, whether it's coming from South or whether Hindi films coming here and making it big, we trying to compare it with the other rest of the people and saying this is making them shake I don't think I'll agree with that, because I'm an actor myself. I think we are here because of what we are.
At the very outset of this conversation, I asked you about what the Prime Minister said, and you welcomed what the Prime Minister has said today in terms of all languages being respected and all languages being equal. Do you, however, feel that on the ground there is still a discrepancy in the way languages are treated in our country?
See, I guess I just know how people are treated. That's where I come from. But, this discrimination of languages, I don't see it happening directly from those big heads or the big thinkers. I guess this is all a third party one. And these discriminations, I think it's just the way we perceive it. Because I see, like, whenever we have done something, I think, like, for example, if certain South films are doing well today in up north and everywhere, it's just not Mumbai, everywhere. I mean, talking up north also, if films are doing well, I think they have respected and welcomed, and I don't see any discriminations here at all. I think probably it was just a matter of time that, people were welcoming the other languages theatrically.
Speaking of sort of the politics of this entire language row, it was very interesting because when Ajay Devgan and you had that little exchange on Twitter and you responded to him, there was an entire political machinery in Karnataka that was actually throwing its weight behind you, with the opposition parties attacking the BJP, saying that, this is a seed of divisive politics that has been sown and that is what is happening, and how all of this is a threat to India's unity. How did you feel about that?
I guess, the way I look at it from my angle, I said what I want to, and Ajay sir said what he wanted to. And the rest of them, it's like selective hearing and selective picking. So I guess, it was just taken. And I saw some of the people also retweeted it, but taking it to what suits them, because none of them tagged us. None of them took it from our line. Yes, the so-called blah, blah, blah. So it's a clear-cut diversion into the requirement. And see, I think Ajay sir or me, when we were speaking, we were only speaking about industry per se. And, and we were speaking about, definitely language was involved here, but it was not to the extent of so intense that, we had to get into a riot. It ended between simple few words, and especially when Twitter also doesn't provide us enough space to say everything what we want. So we have to dilute it, and, we have to program it into such a small one, and I have to say, and yeah, he tweeted in Hindi. I understand Hindi, I read Hindi. So I could understand it. And that is where one fun came as in, like, oh, sir, what would have happened if I had tweeted in Kannada? It was something that came through my thought. And yeah, what would have happened? So I guess that was where it came from. And
you took your time, to speak to us about this entire language row at the time when this exchange happened, and it sort of snowballed into this huge language row between two stars. And we were all covering it in those. This was a few weeks ago. You chose to remain silent at that time. What's made you speak out today?
I wasn't choosing to be silent. I voiced out. That's why you people were speaking. Come on. I was not silent. See, there was nothing. See, always there is a topic and there's an extension topic. I was not a part of that extension. Just hear me out. I was speaking to the topic, and when the extension had nothing to do with me. Me speaking just because I have a voice is not something a probable person like me would do. It has got nothing to do with me. The way it was going on, I was watching it, and I had nothing to do with it. And especially, I'll tell you, when the fire is hot.
How did you feel when this entire thing snowballed into such a big controversy?
I felt wow. I mean, because, I thought that was more creative than all of us. So what we were speaking and where it was heading, and it just headed to all the political thing. I don't think that is what we intended to. And when it
so you didn't expect that it would snowball into such a big controversy, but like I said, you've chosen to break your silence on a day when the Prime Minister's talked about this entire language issue, and how he's talked about the fact that there's pride in every language. So why essentially did you choose to break your silence today? I'm not going to let you.
I'm coming there. See, I said you said and made a line that I didn't expect that. So I just want to show. See, these are all the things that we should expect, that when you say something, it will be just heading into a direction when, see what suits the others most. So I guess these are things what we are constructed upon today. We know that, we say something and suddenly it comes out somewhere else, and then we're like, okay, my vocabulary was right, my diction was right, my choice of words were right. Where is it heading now? Okay. This is what it means, that, it just can have many angles. And when you know that you don't fit into that particular angle, I guess the best thing you can do is remain silent, and not that me being silent is my defense towards what was happening. I was not fitting in there. I was not a part of that. And you cannot make me a part of a story which was not created by me. All right. Now, when you say
chosen
today,
to be a part of the story today.
yes, because it is coming from the Prime Minister.
Yes.
And it is a warm welcome towards all languages, man. I'm not representing only Kannada. I'm talking about everybody's mother tongue is being respected today with that few statements from the Prime Minister's mouth.
Sure.
And that is where I was coming from that day.
Okay.
That has got nothing to do just because we don't look at Mr. Narendra Modi as just a politician. We look at him as a leader as well.
Yes.
We are connected. We may not be connected to the parties, but we are connected to the leader who's looking upon our country. Right?
Okay. Well,
So when it is coming from,
thank you so much for joining us on NDTV. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. And der aaye durust aaye, but you have made your point today. So thank you very much.
thank you so much. It was an honor.